One of those pieces of growth is on the finance side of things. So again, I'm just live in a great appreciation that for many years, people in this place have sustained this parish and kept us alive to the point where we are now kind of thriving. It really feels like a good time to be in the church. And so one of the things that we've been discussing is how do we put some of the building blocks in place so that we can function to the best of our ability and continue to grow in a sort of sustained way that keeps all of those amazing events that we do running so well and it helps us to do more things in our community. So one part of that is the first announcement that we had about bringing Trish on board. So employing an extra person at the church is a big step for us and something that we're really excited to be doing. It's going to help us sustain this growth into our future. But one of the other things is that we want to do things more in the world. We want to share the gospel mission more and more that we can, and so we've been exploring various ways and various things that we might do. We have more programming coming in, we have more groups, more social activities, but today we are announcing that we're starting a big fundraising project, which we're calling Mission 109, Let There Be Light. Now, 109 is a significant number, and it's kind of a bit of a tease in there, because today we are launching a big project to put solar panels on our roof. And 109 is the number of panels that we are going to be putting on our roof. So, just to be clear, I'm going to hand over to Craig, your treasurer, who has done an incredible job of stewarding us through our finances over the past couple of years, is going to help lead the next section. But I just want to be clear before we begin. The solar panels that we're going to be putting on our roof are not going to be on the sanctuary roof. They're going to be on the roof of this space here, the parish hall, above us right now. So, of course, this is, there are things that we have considered as we have put together choosing to do this project. It is probably very clear and obvious that a big part of this drive is our consciousness to react to climate change. We say in our baptismal vows that we promise to safeguard the integrity of God's creation. And of course, that's very hard to live out in our own way. And what things can we practically do? Well, one of the things that we can do is by doing things as a community. So this is a big project that will be a meaningful step in towards our church becoming a net zero parish. And that is one of the things that our church at large has indicated that they wish for our churches to do. So we are following both the direction of our own church, but the church at large. And then the other piece is that this is an investment, a physical and a financial investment in the future of the church. This is going to be a huge saving for us, starting as soon as they are on the roof until the panels no longer take in light, which will be a long time. I am not the expert on this, but there are people who are. So I'm welcoming Tim and Krishan from Shift Solar, who are the company that we are going to be working with to execute this project. And so I want to first thank Craig, because Craig has done a lot of work on this with our wardens, Veronica, Deb, and Shannon, and of course everybody else who is on Parish Council, including the building committee in particular, to Lorraine and Rick also. There has been a lot of work that has gone on behind the scenes that I'm very excited has been kept a secret. And we're delighted to share it with you today. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Craig and sort of ask Craig, how did we come about this project and how has it begun to be organized?
So this project came about in part because I took this project on for Leanne in our house last year. This is something I'm quite interested in. And Leanne and I took a number of different months and went out to different contractors and looked at all the different options around solar for our own home. Through that process, we found Shift. So that I'm actually quite excited to continue the relationship with them. We have a very small system on our house. Our roof is nowhere near as big as the hall here, so, but it continues to produce power for us. And we had a month, we had a 2-month window this year where we paid nothing and got a credit with Hydro. So this system that we're implementing at the church here is much larger, and we'll get into some of the numbers specifically in a couple minutes here, but there'll be, we will functionally never pay for Hydro again.
Wow.
Sorry, say that again?
We'll never pay for Hydro again. So, minus of course their administrative fees, which no one gets away from, right? So, I'll quickly just plug in the slides here.
I think it's on.
Thank you.
There it is.
Okay, so before I get into the actual project itself, I'll quickly just talk about how the solar works in British Columbia. So basically what it is there's solar panels on the roof. I think that's pretty straightforward. And then we go through what's called a net metering process. So the solar panels convert DC power into AC power that our lights and our appliances use. The power that is excess goes back to the grid. So it goes back to BC Hydro, and functionally the meter runs backwards and counts it. So there's a tracking mechanism. And then those credits are collected for the months where we don't generate enough solar to use, where we withdraw from Hydro. So there's always a give and take with Hydro, and it's the net value that's what's important. So that's kind of what this slide talks about. I'm going to jump ahead just a couple of slides here to make sure I get the right one. That one. So here's the projection. So Shift Solar's done an incredible job putting together this slide deck for me. And it talks about the months where we generate more power than we need, and then of course the months where we don't. So you can see on the bottom here in the graph, the red is the power that we would draw from Hydro, and the yellow is the power that we would give back or generate. So it gives you a sense, and of course the graphic on the top there shows what the solar panels on the roof of the hall will look like. The system is 109 panels, as Jonathan mentioned, and 45.4 kilowatts of power. And there's 39 kilowatts of AC probably goes back to, from Hydro's calculation, that's how they calculate the difference. All right. So there's more of a close-up view of what the hall will look like. So it's a substantial workload here, but it's also, when we looked at the project, is to say, how do we get to that revenue or green or zero carbon emission solution? That's the size of the system that we need to have. That's the design. There's the proposal here around the timelines and some of this. I'll get to this in a sec when we introduce the team from Shift, and they can talk about timelines for construction and what's going to happen there, because there's some permits that we have to go through with the District of North Vancouver. Shift is excellent at dealing with all the wonderful districts and municipalities that they dealt with. They handle the District of West or North Vancouver for my house extremely well. This is the slide I wanted. So the bottom number is what's important here. This is the calculation of the amount of Hydro we'll pay over the next 30 years. So it's a scary number. And Hydros continue to go up by 4% every year, year over year. So what we pay now is about $4,500 a year, $4,700 a year. So you can imagine that number is going to continue to go up over the next, every year approximately, for the next 30 years. This is the number that we ended up paying. So with the solar panels, once we get into a full season of power generation, we're functionally paying the administrative costs. So it's about $10 a month, $12 a month for Hydro. So it really becomes negligible. And we'll carry that credit through the months where we don't generate enough Hydro, and we'll use that credit during the months when it's probably like today, for example.
For those who can't see the numbers, can you just read out what we're projected to save over the course of the 30 years?
Yeah, so from a Hydro standpoint, the numbers are small. The big number there is $260,000.
How much?
$260,000. And that's the Hydro bill. So that's just purely what Hydro will cost us with a annual 4% increase, which has been typical over the last number of years.
How many years?
Sorry?
How many years?
30 years. Sorry? Okay, so thank you. So Tim just corrected me. He said the actual increase from Hydro over the last number of years has been 5%. The 4% is a conservative calculation. And I think I'm gonna hand it over to Tim to talk about Shift.
There you are, great. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, great to be here. My name is Tim Grangine. I work at Shift Energy Group. We're a design build solar contractor. We're based here in BC. We've been around since 2010. I've been with the company for almost a decade now. What started as a company of 3 to 5 people in a basement garage has turned into a company that's now in multiple offices across the country, with our biggest presence being here in BC. Prashant here is our commercial project manager, so I'll maybe hand it over to him for a quick introduction and talk a little bit about specifics.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks everyone here. My name is Prashant, and I've been in this industry for like about 10 years.
Hold it up. You have to hold it right.
Sorry.
Stand up.
Attendance an ice cream cone.
Well, don't lick it.
Don't wait.
Sorry, gentlemen. My name is Prashant, and I'm the project manager working for Shift, handling commercial projects specifically. And I've been in this industry for about like 10 years, managing all the projects, residential and commercial, all over BC as well. I'm pretty much excited to jump into this project. These are my like early days in Shift. I recently joined a week ago. So, yeah, but I am very experienced with handling all the projects in BC, all over BC. This specific project would take about like 16 weeks, as we did all the pre-assessments, site evaluations and everything already. And BC Hydro also has approved the net metering section. So it's pretty straightforward. The next process is like going into structural engineering part and then submitting the permitting to District of North Vancouver. West Vancouver. That might take about like 16 weeks. So the installation part itself would take about 2 weeks.
To install it.
Sorry?
Just 2 weeks to install it.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. So yeah, that's 1 to 2 weeks basically.
So they did, again, my system was a lot smaller, but they did it in like 2 days. It's very fast.
Yeah, it's the permitting that takes time.
Yeah, permitting itself takes a little bit of time. And yeah, if you have any questions regarding the project, we are here. And our team is all in-house, just to let you know guys. We don't subcontract any work. And we take care of all the things.
When do you put in the initial application to West End District for the permit? Because I know that permitting can take forever.
Right, so we're gonna jump in as soon as possible. Probably, I mean, I wouldn't give you exact, I cannot give you exact timeline, but once we get the approval from structural engineer, we will submit the permitting right away. Sure.
Thank you. So one of the reasons that we are doing this project now is we anticipate that the longest piece is the permitting time. So we're hoping to get our application in now so that we can have an installation in early spring to maximize the amount of sunlight that we can take on for 2026. So that is why that is one of the reasons why we are doing it now. For Prashant and for Tim, I'm going to we're going to let you know the numbers, or we're going to let you know the numbers shortly. But I just want to, one of the reasons that we wanted to bring them here first is so that you could meet them. But specifically, if you have any like kind of technical questions, a project like this is one of those things. Like our building and our facilities are precious to us. And I know that something like putting solar panels all over the roof might, for some people, have questions like, how is our roof going to hold up? Well, this is the work that we've done behind the scenes and all of that has been inspected and done. Would you like to speak to that, Tim, about the condition of our whole roof here?
Yeah, early on we had a look. I think one of the first questions I had for Craig was the age of the roof, and what I remember off the top of my head right now is that the roof above the parish hall is the one that's been re-roofed as of the latest, and you might know exactly when.
5 years. Somebody's going to correct if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was 5 years ago. So the roof above the parish hall where we are now is 5 years. We just obviously did the roof on that section over there very recently, but the solar panels will go above us here.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons that we partnered with Shift, and I've got all their warranty stuff up here, is that because they handle the project A to Z, so we don't have any subcontractors, there's none of that when they did the installation of my house. It was the most professional installation I've ever seen, to be honest. It was just top notch from the beginning to end. They guarantee it for 25 years. So the other thing they guarantee is they also guarantee the solar power generation. So they're going to calculate how much power the system's going to generate every year. I'm saying that right? It's guaranteed. So they're actually calculating conservatively how much power we're going to guarantee or to generate on an annual basis. So that was one of the other reasons to look at really partnering with Shift, was that just they stand behind their product, and it's not like one of these companies that subs out installation or anything like that. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I can speak to the why a little bit. Our production guarantee is something that we started offering about, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, and when we started doing solar, it was something that was still, it was very, very common. The intent was to be a part of the industry and learn early on before it becomes more mainstream. And over time, what we found was there would be other proponents in the industry putting forward, numbers for what a system could generate that would be maybe a little bit overstated. And so from our end, it's something we've put forward, having years of data from systems that we've installed all over the place, just to really be able to stand behind and provide peace of mind to the numbers that we're putting on paper. So that's really where it comes from. In terms of the other warranties that are on the screen here, these are highlighting the major components. So you have your solar panels, your inverter, and your racking product. Those are all at 25 years. That's all from the manufacturer. And then our labor and workmanship warranty is in essence there to complement those long-term warranties from the manufacturers to stand behind the work that we do. Another piece there is just a manufacturer's warranty is only good as the labor behind it. So having our own labor warranty to back the product warranties means that we have to be following section 6.2.3 of the installation manual for the inverters. It's another bankability piece that's a testament to how we deliver our work. I think if there's any questions though, we're here to answer them.
I'm talking about the weight on the roof.
Yeah, that's a great question, one that we actually get quite a bit. So on a sloped roof surface, we mount the solar panels parallel to the roof plane, so they're flush. That helps minimize wind uplifts on the back of the panels. It essentially means that the overall weight of the system is around 3 pounds per square foot. So if I was to stand up there, it would be, 200 pounds per square foot. With a roof that's been around for a long time, withstanding snow and climate, 3 pounds per square foot is a very, very marginal amount of weight. It is treated differently than a snow load because snow is not always on the roof. So we still have to complete our structural review, but I think we've had out of 2,500 projects, we've had one project on a sloped roof that's needed structural alterations. So, yeah. Great question.
Tim, can you give us some idea as to whether this hall is a large project or a small one compared to perhaps other projects that you've worked on?
Yeah, no, great question. The average residential project we do is about 10 kilowatts. This one is about 50. The largest commercial project we've done is actually 12 or 1,179 kilowatts. So about 10, 20 times.
20 times.
That was on a distribution center for Lululemon in Delta. We completed that in 2023. We've completed a few other projects for clients of similar nature, all around kind of the 40, 50, 60 kilowatt size. So it's a good sized project. It's going to be net zero, which is great. I think that's the goal and where we're going. So yeah. Thank you.
But is it basically red? And will it always be red, or can you change the color?
Oh, so what we saw up there was that's a heat map to show solar generation potential. I wonder if there is a slide here with
Which one do you want?
some sample. I think it's towards the
How is
end.
it? Red and purple, actually.
But maybe we don't have this.
Which one?
Will it go back all the colors?
There. So they're black.
The solar panels are black. I can show you a picture of my house. We can. Well, we're in the end of the questions, Trish.
I have a three-part question. So after it's installed, what happens if one gets broken? Roof repair. 5 years from now, you need to access the roof. How do you get in? And leaves. If leaves fall on it, is that something that'll be an annual cleanup?
So, sorry, Trish. The first question was.
First question is, if one of the panels gets broken,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
heat, cold,
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah. So the panels are tested to withstand temperature ranges between, you might correct me on this, I think it's plus 85 degrees Celsius down to minus 40. Temperatures are fine. In terms of snow, they're rated and tested for 5,400 pascals of downforce pressure, which is times 20.88. It's about 200 or 200 pounds. 200. So about. Yeah. Yeah. These are panels that are from a global manufacturer that will install the same product in environments that have much harsher conditions. But if something happens, I think ultimately with a warranty, it boils down to the cause, right? A tree falling on a solar panel would be a different story. That would be an example of an exclusion.
Do you want to jump in there, Craig, with our insurance, right?
Yeah, so we talked with our insurance provider, and we've worked it out with him. So there is the solution, or the panels will be included in the solar, in the insurance. If we broke one, claiming it on insurance might not be the right strategy, but if a number of them were damaged because, say, a tree fell on the roof, maybe we have other problems, right? So we would deal with that. From a leak standpoint, I'm going to put words in Tim's mouth and say that they guarantee that's part of the installation. So if we ever had a leak that we thought was caused by the solar panels, they would come out and fix it. And they're nodding yes.
even if it wasn't the solar panels that caused it, just age, do they have to come back in to access it?
We would have to, so if there was a leak that wasn't caused by the solar panels, we'd have to have the solar panel removed.
Yeah. So if there was a leak, we would inevitably be a phone call, and we'd be here to help investigate, and then, depending on the root cause, then we can from there.
So I think the question is, if our roof leaks underneath the panels, what is the process of us repairing our roof with panels on top?
And that can just depend on
Yeah.
on the circumstances. It hasn't happened very often. I can count on one hand how many times we've had to help manage that. But it doesn't really happen.
Clearly, it's based on the age of the building.
Yeah.
So you may have worked with newer buildings, this is an older building.
But the roof though is new.
Okay,
Yeah, the roof, the shingles on the roof are 5 years old.
great.
So that was part of the rationale behind us looking at this project, because if the roof was, sorry, I'm talking to the microphone. If the roof was 20 years old, we'd be having a different conversation, because we need to replace the roof, right, first before we did anything else. More questions?
The leaves, sorry, the
sorry,
last part
leaves.
was the leaves.
Yes.
What happens when leaves gather on the solar panels?
I have leaves on my solar panels, they don't seem to affect it, and they do blow off.
Do the leaves leave?
Yeah, I mean, the solar panels are a slippery surface, so the hope would be that wind and rain eventually blow them off. We are using what's called microinverters on this system, which means that the system will be equipped with system monitoring at a panel level. And it also means that one solar panel can operate independently from others, so if one's in the shade from a leaf, it wouldn't impact the overall system. One of we have this series of parameters, we call them derating factors when we come up with production levels. And so one of those factors is soiling, and so we take into account, okay, out of all of the light that would hit the roof surface, a portion of that light will not be converted into energy due to, and one of the parameters is soiling. So we have parameters in there built in to kind of help with that as well.
Gary?
Oh, yeah, Gary.
What's the roof surface? Is it shingles or
Shingles.
metal panels or it's shingles?
Yeah, the roof surface we have on the hall is
It's
shingles.
5 years old?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
the attachment is through the shingles into the structure?
correct. Yeah, so they penetrate the roof to put in the frame, that's the way they did it at my house as well. And Prashant can probably speak to it best, but it's a sealed solution, and I haven't had any leaks, so,
Okay, well, what condition is the roof now? You say it's 5 years old.
yeah.
We gotta make sure it's in good condition before we start adding panels.
Yeah, no, and we had somebody who should come out early in the process, and they did a walk over on the roof. So they reviewed the roof already, and I didn't see them flag any issues at the time. So the roof's actually in good shape.
I'd like to see the total numbers versus how much it will save us.
Sure.
Years.
Perfect. Do you want me to, are we ready to move on to the
Ask?
the ask?
Yeah, you wanna highlight the visual? That's what I just had.
Okay, perfect.
Project that we completed in, when was this one? I think this was a few months ago. This is Needle Lake Lodge in Whistler. And they have, here are the black on black solar panels on a shingled roof. And there's some more solar panels over here on a standing seam metal roof. But just to give back to the question on what they look like on the roof, that's a great picture here to share a bit of an example.
So all those red parts are buildings.
So Val, the red and purple that you saw was a graph that spoke about how much sunlight got to specific panels on our roof. So the more purple, the more in shade, the more red, the more sun exposure. So that was just an illustration for how much individual panels on that our roof would generate. But so thank you so much, Prashant and Vitim, for taking us through this. You can go on Shift Solar's website and you can see the projects that they have done. I've done this. There are lots of amazing residential projects. There are lots of industrial projects. There's a government project too in Victoria as well. So these are a trusted manufacturer, installer, who have been around for many years. And we took our time in our decision to move forward with them. Rob?
Perhaps you could circulate the link this week.
We can circulate the link in our email this week to Shift Solar's website. Thank you very much. Okay, we have deliberately not said how much this project is going to cost until now. 109 is a very important number because it is the number of panels that we will be putting on our roof. Now the project is going to be a total of $115,000, but we are going to be fundraising for $109,000. To make this simple, if you decide that you would like to purchase or donate a solar panel to St. Christopher's Church, $1,000 will put one panel on our roof.
Do we get a name plaque?
Okay? We are not going to be putting brass plaques on the solar panels, but we can do that in spirit because everyone's going to go up there and see it. However, we do have a nice visual representation. So, does anybody remember this thing?
Yes, we put the pennies in.
Okay, this is a donation box that we used to have when there was a Sunday school here that the children would put their pennies into. Okay, we are going to use this as our visual representation.
Very clever.
For every $1,000 that is donated to this project, we will put one solar panel one solar panel on our roof, and we will fill our roof with hope. Okay. You may be wondering, there looks like there is a few solar panels already on our roof. Well, this is the exciting part of why we are doing this project now. BC Hydro have a rebate system, and we have qualified for a $25,000 rebate to start our project. Okay? So there are 25 panels already on our donation box roof. You can do the math, 109 less 25. That is how much we are hoping to raise in this project.
How much will that save us?
How much will that save us? This is a very good question, Gary, thank you. So, if, like me, you're going to speak to other members of your family and maybe think, oh, there's a family, the Pinckney family can donate a solar panel to put on our roof. I haven't told my mum and dad about this, but I'm going to give them a call this afternoon. I'm hoping that my family will together, we will buy one panel together. That one panel, that $1,000 donation that you are making to St. Christopher's Church over the course of 30 years will more than double and a half in value. So you can think about it like this. A $1,000 donation now is worth more than double in just the life. We've calculated over 30 years. Remember, there's a 25-year guarantee on the panel. The science behind the panels is that after 30 years, they will decrease efficiency to 90% of their efficiency. So you can think about this for many, 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 many years ahead. This financial investment that we are making now is going to be a huge revenue-generating project for our church. Over the next 30 years, it will save our church $250,000. We're taking care of the environment, and we're taking care of our finances at the same time. So we are hoping, if you would like to donate more than $1,000, you are more than welcome. We have simplified it just for the case of ask. It will make a lovely Christmas gift for somebody, eh? Okay, does anybody have any questions on the finance?
Of course, it's a tax deductible.
It is, we are issuing tax receipts on every donation, of course. Yes, thank you.
So how much will it save us per year?
How much will it save us per year? Do you have the slide there, Craig? Craig is your treasurer. I'm going to pass it right back to him.
Thank you, 1 second.
I have a question. Is the project come in? I mean, it sounds like it is. Any comments about whether you're going to have more bidders or not? It's come in.
I'll speak to it now. I'll speak to it shortly. Thank you.
I agree.
Sorry, 1 second. Gotta move this over.
There,
I
can't see too far over.
So, I want this one here. There it is there. So here's the two graphs that are important. So here's the amount of power we're gonna save for electricity. We talked about this a bit earlier, $260,000 over the next 30 years. So functionally, we don't pay for hydro ever again, once we get through a season, of course. So that equates to about $4,700 a year. That's what we're paying right now. So our annual hydro bill's in the $4,700 range. That would go to zero, or $150 in administrative fees. The ROI on the project, based on these calculations, is about 15 years. So about 15 years, we would actually pay for the project with just the hydro. So that's kind of the math on this, if that makes sense for anybody. Does that answer the question?
Okay, speak to this.
So, thank you, George. George's question was, this doesn't sound like a consultation, this sounds like you've made your decision. Okay, this is exactly what we have done. Over the past, basically about a year, we've been contemplating this project. We have done an intense amount of research, and our decision to go with Shift Solar was one of those decisions. One of the other considerations and the big reason that we wanted to move forward with the project and bring this to you as a congregation is that $25,000 had a deadline. And in fact, it has actually already passed. So we have committed to this project. So that is where things are. And I'm going to ask Craig to speak to what happens if we don't raise $109,000, which we will.
So, you know, obviously that's the goal, is to pay for the project. From a financial standpoint, we continue to do very well this year, and we have, you know, we're in a good place financially. We continue, just like last year, to do well from an operational standpoint, so we have the funds to pay for the project. But obviously, we don't want to tap into our reserves. You know, that's what we have to do. So this is the right thing to do. The one thing that Jonathan mentioned earlier is that we did have a deadline, and I worked with Tim very closely to make sure we've met it, and we've confirmed with Hydro. They recognized the $25,000 rebate. If we had not signed up by the time we did it, it would have gone down to $10,000. So we would have lost $15,000, which is a substantial amount of money. So that was one of the other important drivers to look at this, to move forward with the big one meeting.
There is also, just so that everybody knows, we are too working on exploring other grants that may be available for this project. Our big difficulty with this is that the diocese offers a capital grant program, and we applied for that last year to do our roof. So the diocese offers up to $40,000, which is a 50-50 commitment between the parish and the diocese on big projects. We've already used $34,000 of that, so there is a little bit more that we can apply for, but we are going to, in this time, between now and when the project actually gets constructed, explore other grants that we may get to. I did see some hands go up. Sandy?
Are there any other churches in the diocese who have gone this route?
Are there any other churches in the diocese who have gone this route? I believe that others have explored this. I am not sure that there are others. There is one other. Okay, perfect. Many years ago, there was one other church in our diocese. So we are pioneers here a little bit, which is very, very exciting. I know other churches think, like Toronto Centre did a big solar panel project a few years ago, but we would be poster child of the diocese in many ways for this project, which is very, very exciting. Other questions? Okay. Kathy, did I see your hand up?
No, you
Juanita.
answered my question about diocesan grants.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
So is the total cost $109,000 less $25,000?
The total cost of the project is $115,000 less $25,000 from BC Hydro. So we are hoping to raise $109,000 less $25,000. Okay, which is, somebody do the math for me here.
But is it?
89.
$89,000 is essentially what we are hoping to raise.
One building, all that we see there is the red and everything?
Yes, it's above this hall. This hall we are in here, this is where the panels are going to go. No panels will go on the sanctuary roof. Okay? Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna pass back to Craig very quickly, and I'm gonna grab something from my office.
Just any more questions? Otherwise, thank you. Paul?
Just a quick one, where are you gonna put the Tesla wall? Where do you propose to?
That would be, that can plan, that's phase 2. Yeah, so we're not putting any storage. There's no storage to the solution, that's for the net metering. So for any excess power that we generate goes back into the grid to feed other homes. And then, of course, and then we have the credit for that. So that's a net metering.
We actually didn't speak about the daycare aspect of this, yes.
So the daycare provides a third?
Yes.
Yes, a third. So the daycare pays for a third of our utilities. That will continue. So I haven't talked about that. So there's approximately $1,400 a year that the daycare provides for BC Hydro or for our power usage. That money will continue to come in. So that doesn't change just because we're generating power using solar. The revenue stream from the daycare will continue. So that'll actually be $1,400 of net operating income that we would have not have seen otherwise, because that would have gone to BC Hydro in the past. So that's an additional part of the calculation that I hadn't mentioned until now.
Okay, you may be thinking, that's been a lot of information to receive just by word alone. Well, fear not, because if you would like any information on the statistics or some of the things about the project, we have come up with these display boards, which will sit on the table over there by the notice board, along with our lovely model telling us how much money we have raised. So you can come and visit these anytime. The people who come into our space, who rent from us, will see that we are doing a solar panel project, and that's very exciting. So we are going to be spreading the message near and far that we are doing this project. And so, if you wish to make a donation to this project, you can donate in the numerous ways that we already accept money through our website. If you send a donation by e-transfer, if you have questions, you can reach out to Lorraine in the office. But this project as a fundraiser will begin now and will run through until when we begin installation. So we've got many weeks to consider what we may like to donate. Okay.
Is this same information available online?
Is this same information available online? It will be, Sandy. Thank you. Not right away, maybe after another week or so. Okay? Wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody. George, one final question.
I have a question from the perspective of how you picked this project.
How did we pick this project?
You told me before, but is there 9 more? Because the actual return is not nearly as exciting as maybe if I invested. But I'm more worried about how we look at the church entirely. This may be the right project, but what are the other 3? Because I wouldn't want to be sitting here next week and tell me you had number for $200,000. I think somehow, at least as a member, I feel more comfortable if I have an understanding of where we're going totally.
Okay.
And the second thing I was going to comment on, don't bring something like this when it's done. It'd be nice to have some input because there's people here in this room who's got lots of experience.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback, and really appreciate these things, George. Just so that everybody knows, we have spent a long time as Parish Council discussing the various projects that we might do as a church, and we realize that there are other things that we may want to do around here, and things like the washrooms has come up. In fact, inside this parish hall has been something that people have said they might like us to invest some money into. I want to reassure folks, this project is not going to take away from other things that we are doing. If you actually, we're going to be sharing obviously in our parish vestry what projects we have done. We've done a huge amount of projects actually at this church. From everything from the garden outside was a big project. The daycare expansion a couple of years ago was a huge project that we actually undertook. We did the windows today. I want to reassure folks, the windows, which was a $25,000 project that we actually did, all came out of our building expense line that we budget for each year. That was a huge project. We also looked at our oil tank. So we've been doing things that come up as and when we need to do things, but we also consider what are the things that we might look around and think these things can can be done. Again, reassuring that these things we will get to them, and we will do them. We're spending a considerable time thinking about our building and our property, and there are lots of things. If you would ever like to offer feedback on various projects or things or priorities or things in ministry, please do consider putting your name forward to be on parish council. For those people who meet every month, give up a lot of time. We have some wonderful people who give very selflessly in the consideration of you all in this place. It's an exciting time to be in this church, and it's good to I feel like things we're moving in a very positive direction. And just to speak to the idea of an investment, George, this is a very this was a big part of what was on our hearts and minds too. Is there are financial investments that we can make, and we do make as a church with a degree of reserves. This project is a financial investment as well as being an investment in our environment around us and the things that we aim to believe in. The actual return is guaranteed. I will say that. You know, we can talk about investments, and many of you may have expertise in that too. This investment is a guaranteed investment. We will not pay for hydro again, and that's a really exciting thing, as well as putting clean energy back into the grid for everybody to enjoy and use. Okay. I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for staying behind. We have a great season to look forward to in the church, of course, through Advent and coming to Christmas. Next Sunday is Remembrance Sunday, so we will have a wonderful service together. Please do feel you can reach out to me personally and to everybody else at the church. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Peace and God bless. If not,